Let's see, we're all of European ancestry here. People have been living here for 11,000 years on this mountain. Since the glaciers left, within 3,000 years there was already big animals, mature forest, and people in only 3,000 years. To me, that's staggering how that happened so quickly. And that's part of the leading edge of some very important research happening right here at the Smiley Research Center. And you know, to our ancestors, our predecessors on this land, this was home, right? This, like, after they weren't here vacationing and then went, so this was home. This is where they lived. So this is where they got their food, right? This was like a salad bar and a meat cooler. And this was the pharmacy, right? This is where they acquired all their medicinal plants. I was just reading an account about native plant medicine and how these accounts, some European settlers talked about the incredible effectiveness of Native American plant medicines and how effective they were and how they virtually knew no disease, but yet how susceptible they were to European diseases. And so this was the pharmacy. This was also Home Depot, right? This was the hardware store. If they needed something, this was the hardware store. This was kindergarten, grade school, middle school, high school, college, graduate school. This is where the ancestors were buried, right? This was the nursery. This is where the babies were born. This is where they lived. This was home. This was it. Don't you think that they knew every element, even every tree, every spring, every animal path, and everything had a name? They were completely invested and participated in their survival? Of course they did. I see it in myself and the kids that I work with. I get them in the woods for 2 weeks and they're like wild children. They already have the trees named. They can already find fresh water and navigate without compass wearing just a pair of shorts, you know? So I see that it's a very easy consciousness, a very easy and simple way of being to reclaim because it's so present inside of us. You know, the Industrial Revolution's only been 100 years, you know? What did we do before that? What did we do before? So I can't even imagine what I did before ATMs. What, I have to wait till 10 o'clock to go to the bank? What? How did that work? You know, I can't even remember. It's been so long. And you know, I remember growing up in television. Some of you nobody really here old enough to remember pre-television, but you know, television's black and white televisions, and it rolled, and you had to try to. The picture would roll, and you'd sit there. It was an art form to try to get the vertical hole just right. So we've changed a lot even since then, you know. So this is black birch, and you all heard of scurvy? Scurvy is a vitamin C deficiency. Sailors and a lot of adventurers would die of scurvy, and supposedly it's a very horrible way to die. And even a lot of people that got scurvy were the fur trappers. In North America, because if you think about it, they would be trapped, you know, it's about making money, and they'd be on these trap lines following these riverbeds up into the mountains. Well, they got all the meat they want, they got all the fur they want. It's not a matter of staying warm, right? They know how to make fire. They got all the meat they want. They're trappers or fish, you know, or fishermen, right? Maybe a trapping cabin up in the woods, but there's something missing, and that's plant nutrients that are missing, so they would die of scurvy. And well, black birch is one of the is a tree that's very. If you take these branches and steep them in hot water, they make a really delicious and nutritious tea loaded with vitamin C. And white pine, this white pine here, if you took a tuft of white pine needles about this big and steeped it in water for about 10 minutes, it would have 5 times the vitamin C of orange juice. So now there's your anti-scurvy remedy. As simple as that. So if I could, I just bruise the bark a little bit. For those of you that are familiar with this, smell it again. It's good. It's good to get a reminder of this. Whenever I take a branch here, I'm like pruning it. I'm making the cut right above the previous bud. It's like pruning, so next year it'll actually branch off, so it's in no way hurting the tree. I'll just take a couple more of these and pass them around. How's that smell? Good? Like that?
So do they make birch beer out of it?
They make birch beer out of it. Hey, you know what else? You know what else that could be done with this? I haven't done it yet. I was going to do it this year.